Our Agape International Choir, Rain Bissou, Marianne Lewis, Mother Henning, and all. Our magnificent Agape House Band. And all of this is singing in the truth that we're walking in the love of God. We're walking in the intelligence of God, the peace of God, the power of God, the beauty of God, the absolute life of God. Say that with us right now. I walk in the love of God. I love in the beauty of God. I walk in the joy of God, the ecstasy and bliss of God. Begin to allow yourself to breathe into that dynamic as we pay attention to the Agape House Band, and we send them so much love for their love of their profession and their expertise. We send so much love to Marianne Lewis, who I mentioned earlier, has just come back from Las Vegas as she's going through the initiation that we all eventually go through, the initiation of her dad moving on to the other side. And so we're embracing her with so much love and tenderness as she's moving through that initiation, as well as anyone else who is moving through that initiation from an individual being in the visible, going into the invisible realm. For those of you around the globe and those of you here in the sanctuary, just look around the room for a moment and see who's swimming with you in this ocean of devotion. Silently acknowledge each other and know that we are magnifying the great law of life together, that exponentially, as we are making ourselves available to the Spirit of the living one that is everywhere in its fullness, each of us coming into a harmonious agreement with everything that was sung in that song, our life is being made new right here in this moment. Oh, you might as well say it. My life is being made new right now. Take it on. My life is being made new right now. My life is being made new right now. As we move and continue for the last week into this particular theme, of which is called right seeing, right being. Let's live. And of course, even though this is the last week of this particular theme, the ageless wisdom will continue to speak itself from this pulpit for a long period of time with different levels of nuance of the universal power and presence and love of God. But we have been reminded this month that many people basically are only hearing and seeing their own thoughts on repeat. That's how many people live. It's their own thinkingness, and they're seeing and hearing their own thinkingness on repeat. It's chronic, unaware that repetitive seeing and hearing one's own thinkingness provides for the context of a perception to be created that may obscure reality, so that individuals begin to develop a personal law that is separating them from the truth. I walk in the love of God. I walk in the abundance of God, the peace of God, and the life of God, which is why the teachings, according to Yeshua, said in substance that they have eyes but see not, and they have ears but hear not. And that I have come not only to make the blind to see, but I have come to make those that think they see go blind. Those that think they know, those that have an opinion, a point of view, a perception, and are living from that, I'm coming to make them go blind to that, so that they can begin to see the great truth of life, that all of life is right here and right now. That the realm of ever-expanding good is truly at hand, and that the kingdom of God is truly within. And this is why we're saying right seeing, right being. Let's live life. And that can never happen unless the thinkingness, which is different from thinking, they are not the same. Thinkingness are the thought forms that are emerging in your mind from the personality construct that is perhaps living from a sense of separation in all of the sea of mental garbage and the way it has affected one's thinkingness, whereas true thinking is inspiration. Through true thinking is the inspiration from the heart mind of the infinite. Other is thinkingness. So we have come to a spiritual community to celebrate the total givingness of the Spirit, to become absolutely receptive to the flow of the go of life, so that we can step into the awareness that we are awareness. Now, as the topic would indicate today, continuation of the vibration of that theme, we're growing from denouncement to announcement. Let's claim our true identity. And so, first things first, what is our true identity? Our true identity is pure awareness. Our true identity is luminosity. Our true identity is brilliance. Our true identity is life itself. Our true identity is the eternal life forever and forever unfolding. Our true identity has never had a birth and will never die. Our true identity did not begin at the birth through our mother's womb. Our true identity is a divine emergence directly from the eternal presence, called by millions of names, but whose nature never changes. That's our true identity. Say it. My true identity is light. My true identity is pure awareness, pure joy, bliss, and ecstasy. And so via spiritual practice, as we begin to expand the possibility of us being aware, through spiritual practice, we begin to be aware of the common things we say about ourselves, the common things we say about life, the common things we say about other people, and we begin to notice if those things are chronic, and if those things are regular, if those things are constantly happening, even under our watch, meaning they're unconscious, then we are basically perpetuating an identity that is not perceiving the limitless nature of reality. You have the ability to transcend perceived limitations. Every limitation is perceived. There is no limitation where your life is. You are an unlimited, illimitable being. And so you begin to be conscious of what you say about yourself, about life, about other individuals. And then if it is not in harmony with the fundamental harmony of life itself, you denounce it. You begin to say, in substance, I am not the individual that is bothered. I am not the individual that gossips. I am not that individual that is living in fear of lack. I am not. You begin to just denounce that from your identity as soon as you see it bubble up. It's bubbling up because it's habit. It's bubbling up because you've had some kind of experience in your life that you did not get over yet. So the subtitle of this particular topic, from denouncement to announcement, let's claim our true identity, is get over yourself. That's just a subtopic. And so you have to denounce it on a regular basis so that you can come into the vibrational frequency of the announcement. I am the individual who has a body temple that can heal anything. I am the individual that has all of its needs met all the time. I am the individual that glows with the light of the divine. I am the individual that is so creative that out of nothing I manifest everything that I need. I am that individual that allows God to so shine through me that people don't even see me. They see God. You see, you begin to make an announcement about your real nature and being. And so the denouncement is only for awareness purposes. It's not to get all in it. It's just to be aware that something flowed out of your mouth. It's become a habit. And this is the thing about those particular things that we say that we don't want to be about is that they are very much addictive. So when you are the individual that is a complainer, the complaining becomes addictive because the chemicals around complaining get produced at a second's notice, and you become addicted to those chemicals. So then when you don't complain, the body gets a little anxious. He hasn't complained in a while. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do here. And it will create a loop vibrationally or chemically within your body to make you find something to complain about. So you have to denounce it on a regular basis. As soon as it starts to come out of your mouth, because you know two things. One, complaining is just the public declaration of your inability to see a solution, of your inability to see the Christ, of your inability to see the life. That's one thing. And then you begin to know, and you also know that complaining is not going to help anything. Gossip is not going to help anything. Putting yourself down is not going to help anything. Worrying about your life is not going to help anything. You already know that. And so you begin to make an announcement about who you are. I'm the individual who always has all of its needs met. Yeah, I can't see it right now. That's okay. But I am developing the perception to see beyond perceived limitations. I can see beyond limitations. Say it. Say it. Say it. Okay. I can see beyond perceived limitations. Say it. Because there isn't any limitation in the power and the presence of God. You're seeing beyond perceived limitations. So now what begins to happen? First of all, as you are moving into your creative essence and beginning to demonstrate out of nothing whatsoever, you're limiting the thought that there's some kind of scarcity or lack, even though that particular nefarious hypnotism is perpetuated when you turn on your television or listen to the news. It's always an underlying thing that there's not enough of something to go around. And so sometimes unconsciously, we want to live a life thinking, this is unconscious, that if in fact I'm demonstrating, if in fact I'm manifesting, if in fact my needs are met, I am some kind of way depleting the universal flow. You cannot deplete the infinite. You cannot deplete the eternal. You get to represent and reveal the eternal as it circulates through you and begins to magnify and multiply itself, because the presence of God does not know division. The presence of God only knows multiplication. My soul magnifies and multiplies the presence of God. So unconsciously, you're not depleting anything when you reveal more health and vitality in your body temple. When you allow more wisdom to flow through you and more good and more harmonizing prosperity, more beauty and more joy, there's no depletion. There's only a revelation of what really is. And then as I was speaking with Aria Lorenza podcast this week, and we got into talking about living from the overflow and what that meant, and I was reminded about at a time when I would go out to the ocean on a regular basis and embrace the ocean as oceanic, embrace my life as oceanic, and there was a tremendous overflow of awareness of the all good before anything had even manifested, before there was even an agape, before all of that, there was an overflow vibrational frequency. And when you begin to identify yourself, when you claim your real identity, you're not eking out good and existence from limitation, from the world of effects and appearances and circumstances and condition and other people. You are living from an overflow vibration. Your identity is shifted. The law responds to how you identify yourself. You see, you have to identify yourself as one who has everything that one needs. You have to identify yourself as a being that can heal anything. You have to identify yourself as all of your needs met. That has to be your identity. Because without a shift in identity, you can use the law to make something happen, but you're going to eventually lose it because that's not your identity. It's just your manipulation of the law temporarily to bring something into visibility, but you want to have a total shift in identity. I am one that is brilliance. I am luminosity. I am dynamic peace and well-being. I am. And so from this dynamic, with an identity shift, with the claiming of your real identity, yes, you can celebrate the temporary. You can celebrate your human incarnation. You can celebrate your family lineage. You can celebrate where you went to school. You can celebrate all of the things that are temporary and all that beautiful stuff. But your identity, that you don't get that mixed up with your identity. Your identity is the light that lights up every being that comes to the planet. And when you become still enough, quiet enough, introspective enough, you will begin to catch the sacred whispers of the Spirit saying to you, ooh, you are so magnificent. You are so beautiful. You are so much more than your thinkingness says you are. And then you will add to your spiritual practice that you won't make a move until you're living from the overflow. You won't make a move out of scarcity. You won't make a move out of fear. You won't make a move. I'm not talking about, I mean, if the dog's about to bite you, you gotta go. I'm talking generally, sometimes you gotta get a little survival action in there. Okay, but generally speaking, you who are sitting in this sanctuary and those who are tuning in, most of you, there's not a tiger trying to eat you right now. So you're not making a move out of scarcity. Your move comes from the overflow. When we were at a board retreat this weekend, we placed ourselves in a position in the life visioning process to actually feel all needs met for our community, to feel what the community looks like, the infrastructure as well as the ways by which we touch people all around the globe. And we allowed ourselves not to allow to creep into our conversation, into our feeling tone, any sense of lack whatsoever. We were transcending perceived limitations, and the only what-if question that we asked a few, I mean, not exaggerate here, but one of the questions that we ask is, in substance, what would the world look like if Agape International was operating at its full potential? What would the world look like? So it's not just about Agape, it's about the vibrational impact that we have on the globe. What would the world look like? And then people began to share different areas of the world that would be different and changed if, in fact, we were operating at our highest potential. You see, we wanted to go beyond limited, perceived limitations. What would your world look like, personally, if you had no limitations on you? If you felt that? What would your personal experience be in the world if you actually felt that all of your needs were met? Before they showed up, by the way. What would your experience of life be if the perceived limitations began to dissolve? You begin to walk in that awareness. Spiritual practice, when the mouth starts to vomit something that is about separation, you just denounce it. I am not he who's living in scarcity. It's not me. It's not my identity. You denounce. And then you segue right into your announcement. I am the one that has all of its needs met all the time. I'm the one that flies on the wings of the Holy Spirit. I'm the one that reveals so much beauty. It blinds everyone to their limitation that they may fly beyond the sky and allow that which isn't real to die. You begin to make an announcement. and announcements. Now, what I've just described is spiritual practice. It's not just being a philosopher of New Thought Age's wisdom. It's not just having the latest book. It is actually taking yourself to task so you can get over your limited self so that your real self can begin to shine. And in that overflow vibration, that's the miracle zone. That's where out of nothing something shows up. That's where you can't see a way, but the vibration becomes the way, and then the way shows up. That's the place where you may be at your wits' end about something, and then suddenly, incrementally, sometimes dramatically, a way shows up. But then that begins to be the dynamic of how you live your life. Claim your real identity. Let's live for real. Making a vibrational footprint on the planet. And then you will be in the number of individuals that will rise in vibration and frequency. And you'll have deep compassion for those, for the warmongers of our time. You'll have compassion for that level of ignorance of someone being hypnotized into killing their brothers and their sisters under the guise that they are different from us. You will put civil back in civilization. Okay. You will rise up at that frequency and that vibration. And you will be able to embrace the Sahara. You'll be able to embrace the Congo. You'll be able to embrace Gaza. Be able to embrace Israel. You'll be able to embrace the United States. You'll be able to embrace all of these countries and see that there's something trying to rise through the ignorance of the human mind that brainwashes. And then you'll understand this. There are channels that allow programming to happen. It's called television. But you are a channel of God. And you get to program your own awareness. And then you will tell a great vision of possibility. That is your lot in life. You be the channel of God. You program your own mind and then tell a vision. We challenge ourselves to do this. What if on a regular basis, whenever you meet somebody, you're hanging out with your friends, that somewhere in that conversation, what creeps in is a spiritual experience you just had. Some wisdom popped through you when you were in your dream state. You had a thought about the possibility of your life, not knowing how to do it. What if that became a part of the normal conversation rather than what's wrong and what I have to fix? What if that became the dynamic? You know what would happen? You begin to perceive limited. You begin to perceive, you go beyond your perception of limitations. And you begin to live in a different vibration. And as that became normal and regular, right seeing and right being. You'll see without eyes, you'll hear without ears, you'll catch the eternal broadcast of let there be light and love and life and the beauty, and then you'll stand up and say, and let it begin with me. Let it rise with me. Say with me, if you will, all of my needs are met. Everything is working together for my good. Life is for me. There is nothing against me. I have it all. I circulate it. Oh, I am a creative being. I am a soulful artist. Oh my God, I love the opportunity to be more myself. I am claiming my real identity. And it's happening right now. When? It is happening right now. So we feel that in our bones. Right seeing, right being. Let's live. From denouncement to announcement, let's claim our real identity. Now, you will have a challenge. I'll use this terminology, but don't take it too seriously. Because when you begin to wake up like this, you're actually walking behind enemy lines. I mean, you're going to bump into so many people that are sleepwalking. They're going to be disturbed by you. Some of them are not going to like you. Some are going to think you're just weird. Some are going to think, this is silly. You used to bring me all the hot stuff. But it's okay. You are walking and making a vibrational impact everywhere you go, even if you say nothing. You have claimed your identity. Life, conscious of itself. Celebrating all the temporary identities that we have, but never forgetting one moment, your real identity. Real identity. R-E-A-L. Real. Whew. Let's turn within in this moment. And let us come into the state of giving. We want to give thanks. We want to be grateful. We want to be thankful. We want to open ourselves up and come to a realization that as we are so grateful and thankful, we become identified by the law of the universe as one who is grateful, as one who is thankful. That becomes a dimension of our identity and a use of the law, which means in the manifest realm, more and more and more to be grateful for shows up because we have been identified as one who is thankful. So we give thanks. And we feel that we can now see. Without our physical eyes, we can see with the consciousness that created the eyes. We see God. We see God. Oh, when I look out and see all the beings tuning in, oh my God, I see such creative agents. I see wonderful healers. I see great entrepreneurs. I see individuals who are casting vision of possibility for our world to be made new. I see so much, I recognize God in us. And as we're turning within, we begin to feel our individual and collective unity with the presence. One with God. Not guy in the sky. One with God. Presence, never in absence. The living one. The divine presence. Life. Conscious of itself and wants to know itself as each and every one of us. Oh, we feel one with life. See, I feel one with life. I feel one with God. I feel one with beauty. I feel one with abundance. I am harmoniously prosperous. Divinely healthy. Well-being is my law. And so as we feel into this deep sense of unity, we now have permission to speak. We never want to speak until we're spoken through by the higher self to the best of our ability. And so the word is spoken for each and every one of us that we may be free today. That all of the thinkingness that would hinder and obscure us from seeing that which is real has no power here. We denounce it. Comes into our awareness, we denounce it. And then we come into the frequency of the supreme affirmation, the supreme announcement. I am. I am the one. At one with the one. It includes brilliance. magnificence, beauty, absolute joy, peace, wellness, and well-being, harmonizing prosperity, all needs met, strength, vitality, vigor, flexibility. Oh my God, more than words can say or convey. I announce my real identity. I take off the mask. I'm all right. The word is spoken for each of us that we may be free today. Every organ, action, function, the body temple is hearing the message. The mental body is hearing this message and feeling it. The emotional body is hearing this message and feeling it. The body of our affairs are now like iron filings to a magnet, are now coagulating around our law of real identity. And automatically there is more good flowing into our life because we have lifted our frequency and claimed our real identity. So the law of grace is now happening in our life. Oh, you might as well say this. The law of grace is happening in my life. Right now. And so you're allowing something. You're letting something. It's already happening. But as the reading indicated, it's already happening everywhere. I'm paraphrasing here. But it must happen through you. It's not going to just happen all around you. It's not going to happen to you. It's through you. Through your expanded awareness. So let us just take a breath here. Just receive one. Let us feel. Let us feel this. Feel it. Help them take a moment and let them feel this.
Oh, loving God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my loving God in me. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my loving God in me. How great thou art, how great thou art.
The eyes closed. Just feel into the greatness, the omnipresence of the presence. You've ever had a moment where you just felt, oh my God, that's the presence of God. Let's bring that moment to bear right now in our awareness. We're more than who we think we are. We're more than our bodies and our minds. We are the light that lights up every being that comes to the planet. We're feeling into the presence. Ooh.